Well, I think we finally are going to have something that has a different color.
We are.
This is for sure.
We're going.
I can 100% guarantee it without even opening this bottle.
Yes.
Oh, which actually we will need your bottle opener for again.
I will get that right now.
Okay, wow. Exit stage left. There we go.
Paragon Space Development Corporation
That's right.
bottle opener.
Paragon Space Development Corporation.
Oh,
That's a long verbiage right there.
PSDC.
And actually, Space Development Corporation.
Oh,
that even factors into the
that
name
sort
of
of
this
ties
beer.
in.
How did you do that?
I was lucky.
You were lucky. We are lucky
We
to
are
have
lucky.
this beer right now as well. And that's that's it. That's what we got for this Give It a Shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith, and we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage we're about today is the Dubhe from Uinta, right? Dubhe?
Dubhe. Yeah.
Dubhe.
And actually, that's funny, too, because that's going to tie into something else this was made with.
That's right, it is.
Wow.
There's all kinds of connections here.
There's a lot of double things going on here. Go ahead.
And they're out of Salt Lake City, Utah, which is even weirder.
That is strange.
Dubhe. So, anyways, but so this is a double. Oh no,
It's an Imperial
Black IPA, and it's brewed with hemp seed.
Hence, Dubhe.
Dubhe.
But Dubhe,
that's not what it really
right.
is.
That also ties back into your bottle opener, which is
Space
from
Development.
Right. Which is that Dubhe is actually named, I'm going to read it right off their website, which we'll have a link to at AboutBeverages.com, is Utah's Centennial Star that was named in 1996, and it is the front of the Big Dipper.
Nice.
So yeah, we got Stargate, and actually there's even a picture of a telescope on the side.
Yeah.
Just notice that. So 9.2% alcohol, a little higher on that.
Yeah.
And this was a 4-pack or 6-pack?
This was a 4-pack that I picked up at Sprouts Flower. And
Nice.
It was either $8.99 or $9.99, and I think I got it on. It may have been $9.99, and I got it on sale for $8.99.
Okay.
It was a while back, and all full disclosure too, we're drinking this past their best before date, which was January 18th of this year. So we're a little over a month past it, but
It's been refrigerated that whole time.
It's been refrigerated, yeah. So
like I said, so we'll take maybe our tasting with a grain of salt if for some reason we don't like it.
And also, I have had this beer before as well.
What?
I know. I gave this to you a while back. I didn't even know if you. I just was saying, try it. I didn't know if we were going to have it, but
I
anyway.
didn't. Honestly, if I'd have read it a little bit closer about what you'd handed me, it probably would be gone by now. Because an Imperial Black IPA makes me very
I have
excited.
one more in the fridge. I could have brought it over for a podcast. Oh. So anyway,
if I'd only known that I could have had a second one. Although who knows? Maybe I'll hate it. What else? There was something else I wanted to get to, but it just completely left my brain. We've had a few other things from Uinta as well that were good.
A pumpkin.
They had a pumpkin beer that we tried for one of our podcasts. I believe we've also had one of their barley wines. I'd have to flip back through the site, and like I said,
which you can do right now as you're listening to it.
That's true. Yeah, actually, you can.
Take a
If you're
look.
not actually at the site and you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. But you
Of
can
course.
also head over to AboutBeverages.com and check out the rest of that kind of stuff too. So
Right.
we're gonna go ahead and open this up. This is it's like every other beer. We need a bottle opener.
That's
That's
true.
what we've had going this week. It's not been every time. Hey, different color.
Different color.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Definitely
I went
dark
too
brown.
quick.
That's okay.
Sorry. Yeah, it is. I'm kind of surprised. I looked at looking at the color that they've got on the website. I thought it was gonna be like jet black,
Even
but this
darker,
definitely
yeah.
is still a little brown.
When compared with what we've been exposed to the last couple of weeks.
Yes, this is jet black.
This is it. Yeah, it is.
It's got a little actually reddish tinge to it. It's kind of that like cherry wood kind of look to it or something like that,
Yeah.
But kind of beige head color there.
Yeah. Maybe it lost some of its luster.
It could have.
Month.
Hasn't lost some of its wonderful aroma though.
That was that's what I remember.
Wow, that smells really good. A little toasty, a little chocolatey. Hops.
See, there's
Hop,
something.
hop, hops.
What I remember, what I read before I tried this, I had read a review that somebody had put up, and for some reason I can't get it out of my head, and I keep it pineapple. The person said, and I don't think they liked this beer very much, and they said pineapple. So I get that sort of. There's like a citrusy.
There's a light citrus in there. I don't know if I could call
tropical,
it out as pineapple, but yeah, maybe it's something tropical. I'd probably be a little more vague.
Sweet kind of. It's yeah.
That smells really good though.
But it's almost
Oh, you can't.
The sweet.
Even,
I know.
really? No
it's
way.
going that way.
What is your?
It's going that
but
way.
But it's dark though. How can
I
you
know.
Even,
I
as
don't
soon as
understand.
you get toasty and other things, how are you?
Yeah. See, but to me, there's just a lot of fruit sweet in there.
As soon as the malt gets a little too far toward the fruit sweet, this man goes barley wine.
Barley wine. But the
Start
Bigfoot barley wine is out now. I've seen that.
Yeah, and you
And
like that one because it doesn't taste like a barley wine.
Anyways,
funny.
Okay.
I remember that was my least favorite from that tasting.
Yeah.
Or not, well, it wasn't my least favorite. I liked it less than
Yeah.
like the Stone or something like that. But
There's some roasty goodness in there.
yeah, there's a lot of roasty goodness in there. Initially, my initial reaction always when you have something darker like this for me is like, I'm like, oh, the body isn't quite what I thought it was, or not quite as much there. But I'm like, no, this is a black IPA. You don't want it quite that heavy. This isn't a stout. This isn't something like that, so you don't want it to be that overwhelming.
Right.
So as soon as I switched my brain on that, this is really good. It's probably there's a little more roastiness in there than for my particular taste. Nothing wrong with it. Like I said, usually there's a roast. There's a certain amount of roastiness that like when it starts to get too far, and almost it goes a little bit that way.
Yeah.
Just on the roastiness quotient, but there's a nice little chocolatey in there. The hops are really good. There's a nice balance of the bitter in the back there with that roastiness. So I guess it isn't. It's not quite far, but it's right on the precipice of being a little too roasty. But overall, it's a pretty good balance of flavor.
See, I still get that sweet fruit, sort of candied fruit or some kind of note that, no, it's not a barley wine, but it's that above the roastiness is there for me,
I actually get that in the taste.
Which kind of confused me a little, because when I first had it, I was like, "Oh, I like it. Oh no, I like. Oh no." I went back and forth. In fact, that's why I even had the second one.
That was like a How I Met Your
later.
Mother moment. We could do that. No, we can't. We could do that. No, we can't.
Yeah, I felt that way. I was like, and so I was like, when I had the second one, I thought, well, I want to make sure that, or try to at least flesh out exactly how I feel about it. And overall, I was kind of on the side of, well, I'm not crazy about it. And that's why I was like, well, I either wanted you to try it, or if you want to do a podcast on it or whatever needless to say, I still have the fourth one sitting in my fridge at home. So, I wasn't like, I personally probably wouldn't buy it again. But in fact, I'll give you the other one if you'd like it, if you're enjoying it at all. Because I was like, there's just something about, I like part of it, but then that higher fruit part, I just wasn't.
Yeah, see, that part is not bothering me as much. But I actually get now more what you're saying, though, in the like in the aroma. I was kind of like, I'm smelling these darker things. I don't know what you're talking about. But in the flavor, I do actually know what you mean. There are these sweeter components that are more toward that sweet fruit kind of thing, where, like, so when you've, when there's a lot of maltiness in there of that type of whatever their base was that turns into that kind of barley wine. I actually do get that in there, but for me, it's more that it gets a little bit more roasty than I initially like, because in the sweetness that's balancing that out is usually like I like a chocolatey or coffee or like that kind of flavor. Like I like to balance out the roasty as opposed to this being that kind of barley wine sweetness. So it doesn't kind of, but I think overall it's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know if I would reach for it, right away either. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I think I would agree with that assessment. That's funny. We don't like it for two different reasons.
That's right. You pick out one part, and I picked out the other part.
Yeah, and like the part. Oh, well, I get that, but that doesn't bother me. I don't like. Well, that doesn't bother me, but I don't like this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. I always love trying Imperial Black IPA. So
it had that. It had the hemp seed, the hemp, all those different things. It was like
I would be interested to know. And if anyone else out there knows this, they can either leave a comment on the video here at YouTube or at our website, AboutBeverages.com, or even on Twitter. If you're following us on there, let us know what the hemp seed actually brings to the table. Does it bring body? Does it bring anything in particular, a flavor component? I'm not too familiar with that on what that would actually be adding to it as part of the grains. So I would definitely, or part of their total bill. I'd be interested to find out what that actually is for, or what they did that for, besides just putting it on the bottle, because I don't think they would do it just for that.
Right.
So, all right, well, head on over to the website at AboutBeverages.com And definitely check out the tasting notes for this beer, as well as where it hits on our recommendation scale. And while you're there, you can always check out all the other things we've got going on. We've got other seasonal beers we've talked about. We've got wines. We've got all sorts of things. Tasting notes, drink database. You can find out what beer Keith really didn't like recently.
That's right.
That you can read. You can take a look and read about that, and all the other things. But whether we like it or not,
you should give it a shot.